So now that we've learned some theory, we get to dig into the fun stuff and actually look at how these binary form concepts actually apply to real music. Let's dig in. The first example I have to share with you is a piece by a composer by the name of Sophia Dussek. And this is a sonata, a section of a sonata that is written for harp. This is an example of simple binary. It is simple because the material that is in the A section, which in this excerpt includes measures 1 through 8, none of that material comes back at the end of the B section. So they're really two contrasting sections. So that is simple binary. It is also continuous because by the point of bisection, we do not have a cadence that states tonic at the end of the A section. Let me show you how this works. The key of the piece is F major. You see, we start with an F major chord. We've got one flat. Well, we start to get some B naturals in there. And by measures 7 and 8, we are no longer in F major, but rather in the key of C major. And what I'm hearing here is a pack, but not in F major, but rather in C major. Therefore, the form is continuous because we've modulated by the point of bisection. The third point is that this is a two-reprise form. Why? Because the A and B sections use repeat signs. I'm going to play the excerpt for you now. Before moving on to our next example, I'd like to point out a few other features about this cool little piece. If I were to analyze its phrase content, I would analyze 4 4-bar phrases. I hear a half cadence in measure 4. And then, as mentioned earlier, a pack in C at the point of bisection. You'll notice when we go on to the B section, we're right back in F major. This is not at all uncommon for pieces that are this short. So you'll see that we immediately get B flats back in the key of F at measure 9. And I hear a half cadence at measure 12. And then at the end, I hear an authentic cadence. So if we were to make a form diagram summarizing this binary form, it would look like this. I write my phrases out. I've got the measure numbers. It looks like all of the phrases we are using here are contrasting. I've used a different lowercase letter to label each of those. I don't want to forget about the big A and the big B to show the binary form. I also want to show key areas underneath the staff. I'm going to be using Roman numerals not to denote chords, but rather key areas and to talk about relationships of keys rather than individual chords. Let me show you how this works. I start by doing a Roman numeral 1 at the beginning, not to show that we're using the tonic chord, even though we are, but rather to show that the key we are starting in is the key of 1 of tonic. Then I want to show that in the second phrase, we modulate to the key of 5. So I draw something like that. The Roman numeral 5, I'm also putting the letter of the key beneath it. So I'm very clear, showing that we're modulating to the key of 5. We're not using a 5 chord, but rather the 5 is denoting that we're modulating to the key of C. Then we're back in the key of F at the very beginning of the third phrase. So I'm going to put the Roman numeral 1 there. And since we stay in tonic for the remainder of the piece, I don't need to write anything else. So this is what our form diagram looks like. With all of this in mind, we are going to end this video by listening to the piece one more time, looking at the annotated score and form diagram.